So how do you heal yourself and get over the man? Whether you broke up with him, whether he dumped you, does not matter. How do we do that? That is what we're talking about today. But before we do that, really quickly, I am Marshawn Olanio. I am a shift relationship strategist where I help Black Christian women to shift their mindset, shift their perspective, and shift the way that they're showing up in the relationship with themselves first, as well as that relationship with their partner or spouse. If you are a Black woman, Black Christian woman who wants more tips, tools, and strategies like that, then go ahead and subscribe to this channel for more. Let's jump into the first way to heal yourself and to get over him. The first one is time. Now, I know that we say, or you've heard the saying that time can heal everything, but I beg to differ. It's not just time. It is what are you doing in that time to heal yourself and to get over him? Are you just shutting down, not dealing with the things that you did wrong? Are you consistently blaming the other person for the breakup or for you needing to walk away? Like, are you taking ownership? What are you doing in the time to heal yourself? It is not just the time that is going to make a difference. It is what you are doing, how you are treating yourself, how much reflection you have done. So what is it that you're doing in the time to make sure that you do not repeat, the same thing over and over again when the next man comes? What are you doing during that time? So time absolutely plays a factor in it, but it's what are you doing in the time? Number 2 is to talk to a qualified person. That is the second way to heal yourself. What is my definition of qualified person? A qualified person is someone that has a non-biased opinion about the things that you are doing. They can point out your blind spots. They can tell you what flaws or point out your flaws, but they're really trying to show you the areas that are holding you back and the things that you can actually do, depending on who you're talking to, in order to move where you're at to where you want to be faster. So instead of you bumping your head and try to figure everything out on your own, this qualified person is now helping you to move faster down the aisle, the road, whatever, right? So talking to a qualified person is the second way to heal yourself and get over him. The third thing is that I believe can help you to get over the person, especially if you don't have the money for the qualified person, the therapy, the coaching, the counselor, even the trusted friend, just depending on, y'all relationship, right? But the third way to heal is to journal. This is a cheaper way. You're not going to get every avenue fulfilled, but you will have a better understanding of the thoughts that you're having or that you're having in that moment, or when you're reflecting about what the relationship was, what it wasn't, what you thought it was going to be, and even dealing with the death of that relationship. The death of the relationship is not only the breakup, it is the death of the possible child or children that you may have wanted with this particular person, the death of maybe the possible neighborhood that you wanted to live in, the death of all of the dreams and goals and aspirations that you two have planned together, the death of the travel, the death of the severing of the in-laws or the sister-in-laws or the brother-in-laws, the cousin-in-laws. Maybe you built up a really tight-knit community with their family. And so it's a death of all of that stuff, because now you're not engaging in the relationships the way that you once did when you two were actually a couple. So it is the death of all of these things combined. And so what your journal is going to help you to do is to say, this is where I'm at today. I need to figure out why I'm feeling this way, why the relationship went down the way that it did, what part I actually played in it, why I'm feeling angry in this moment, why am I holding on to all of this stuff? And so you're going deeper and deeper and deeper to release. It's a form of therapy because you are releasing these things and you're getting them out. You're not holding this stuff in. This is very, very healing. Talking to someone is very healing. I failed to mention that before. That talk therapy, just releasing, purging, getting rid of all of the stuff so it's no longer pent up inside of you. And guess what? This is a tidbit of information, but it's actually true. We get sick when we hold things in. We get sick when we hold things in. And to go even deeper, a lot of cancers come from the stuff that we're holding in and holding on to, trying to control, trying to hide. And when we do that, it comes out in a different form. Sometimes it just comes out in a nasal cold or a common cold. Maybe you find yourself sick all the time. I remember when I was in my first marriage, I was sick all the diggity doggone time, and I was just like, what is happening? I am not a sickly person. I had no idea that there was a connection between me getting sick all the time and the unhappiness I was feeling in that marriage. Had no idea. And soon as I walked away and we divorced, the sickness went away. Magically, just went away. It just went away. And it wasn't so much that I had a long cold. It was I was having cold, I would be finished or feeling well for about a week, and here come another cold. Same cycle, another cold, well, another cold, well. And I just started reading up on it like it's a connection. Cancer, there's a connection. You holding that stuff in. There is a connection in you holding that stuff in. That is free. That's free. Take that information. Use it as you will, because it makes a difference. This is how you heal and get over him. But you got to take ownership of the stuff that you're doing, the stuff that you're not doing. Take full responsibility that that is the person that you chose. Yes, he chose you too, but you also did some choosing. It's okay. Now that you're aware of what's actually happening, now you can do better next time around. You can do better next time around. Because most of us didn't have the playbook. Most of us didn't have an instruction manual of how to choose, how to show up, how to do. Some people did. They may have ignored it. Others just didn't have a plan. I actually was somewhere in between, because I seen healthy relationships, but I still was not given the blueprint. And I still had to figure it out. And I still bumped my head. And I still was dating and still not figuring it out. And I was roller coaster for a long period of time. Until I had to put a stop to all of that. And I was like, I'm the only common denominator in all of these failed relationships. So what is actually happening? Marshawn, you may not be as great as you believe you are. And I had to start asking myself some of those tough questions that I'm asking you to ask yourself. Because that is the only way you're going to get down to the root of the why things are happening the way that they're happening to you, for you in your life. Number 4, you have to cut the communication cord. What does that mean? It means deleting the person that broke up with you or that you had to break up with, all the social media. It means blocking them on your phone. It means stop allowing them to come back or to text you the woe is me or I miss you or what you doing and now y'all friends with benefits. Like, cut the communication cord. It is unhealthy. You're never going to get over the person if you stay emotionally tied to the person. You're always going to be blocking your future blessing because, number one, you have an emotional tie and you're not going to allow anybody in because you have hopes and dreams that this is going to come back together. And sometimes it does. But a lot of times it does not. So cut the communication cord. Don't allow woe is me. Don't allow the drunk texts to come or the drunk calls or in the middle of the night. Let them do them and you do you. Let them do them and you do you. Stop communicating with this person. Stop drunk texting. Stop asking them what they're doing and how they're doing and if they're dating. Get rid of all that stuff. Don't set yourself up to still be a part of his social media and now you're stalking his accounts. It's not sexy. It's also not healthy. There is no way that you are healing if you are trying to figure out and watch what he's doing. Creating secret accounts so now you can monitor what he's doing. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. reflect and figure out what you did wrong and why the relationship didn't work. So when the next person comes, guess what? You can attract a better mate and now show up better. Because when you know better, you can do better. And sis, you know better now, so you can do better. The fifth way to heal yourself and to get over him is to get back to doing the things that you really loved doing before you and him got together. Now, what I really, really would have loved for you to do is to not have to stop doing those things when you were in that relationship. However, I know sometimes life gets in the way and we start building these new, routines. And the routine usually comes in the form of being really attached to your new boo because you thought and think, right? You felt that this was gonna, and now it didn't. So if you did allow your hobbies to fall by the wayside, now it's time for you to go and pick them back up and start doing them. Including but not limited to your girlfriend friendships. Maybe you really love going to work out, or maybe you really loved going to dance, or maybe you really love swimming, but you stopped all that stuff or slowly got away from it because you was too in the trenches of this relationship. And now you're trying to figure out who the heck you are. Well, get back to doing those things. And maybe, just maybe, you really have outgrown them, but you'll never know until you start to rediscover what these new hobbies are if the old ones don't feel right anymore. Rediscover or discover hobbies, new or old, bring them back, either way. The sixth way to heal and to get over him is to meditate and become more mindful of yourself. Meditation and mindfulness actually helps you to manage your stress and your emotions. Now, I am not great at this meditation thing. It is still taking me a really long time to get recentered every time my brain takes me away. So I'm getting better, but it's slowly but surely. This is a slow process even for myself. However, even the few minutes that I'm able to focus, and I do the breathing meditation, just deep breathing, coming back to breathing. Even when I do that, for those 2-3 minutes at a time, when it works for me, I still feel a lot better. My brain still is clearer. Is it as clear as it could be? Absolutely not. But this is a new practice for me. But the mindfulness part, pretty good. The meditation part is something I'm still working on. I'm still a baby at the meditation part. But I know that it can help me to decompress and de-stress. And most of us need to be able to decompress and to de-stress in our lives. The seventh and final way to heal and to get over him is therapy. Now, most people, when you think about therapy, when people say therapy, it's usually with like talk therapy, a person where maybe you're going there and you're laying on the couch, or maybe you're sitting up, the therapist taking notes. Now you're talking about X, Y, and Z. That's the kind of therapy that most people think about. But I want you to think about other forms of therapy, because one type of therapy may not work for you. It is really just finding what works for you so you're able to release this. So I came up with a list of different types of therapy, just in case you're like, talk therapy, I tried it. All coaches and therapists are not treated equal. They do not measure up to one another. So if you're finding a coach or therapist, a therapist in particular that did not meet your needs, then I would absolutely suggest that you find another one. It literally is like finding a pair of shoes. I know that this is not a great example, but rock with me. When you go into the shoe store, you try on several different pairs of shoes. If one fits you really great, you choose that one. Meanwhile, you have 5 or 6 around you. Choosing a therapist is the exact same way. You may have tried out 1, didn't work out. Number 2 didn't work out. 3 didn't work out. But number 4 is awesome. So don't just stop at one therapist. Now, let me jump into that list of therapies that I wrote down, and we're going to wrap this up. The first one is traditional. That is the talk therapy that most people think about when you say therapy. But there's also flotation therapy, when you get in a tank and literally you are just floating, allowing yourself to just be, right? Another form of therapy is hypnotherapy, right? Where you get hypnotized. So hypnotherapy. Another thing is sound therapy, where you are going and listening and being a part of the sounds, right? And then another form that I wrote down is art therapy. So there are plenty of different forms of therapy out here in order for you to continue your healing process, or to start your healing process and get over him. When you become more centered and more focused, you can hear more, you can hear clearly. Your third eye literally opens up. So now you're like, I didn't see that before. And some of it is because you didn't want to see it, and others is because you didn't know what to look for in order to say, I see this. This may even be a red flag. I'm going to move on with life.